I sent the doc.
Cool. All right. I'm good.
Okay. Is anybody not ready? Okay. I reject the gender language of the only see I for ethical statements like the resolution committee should have either normative or descriptive sense. Normative ethical claims are anthropomorphic, actually functionality, nature one. Every word becomes a concept. This functionality intended serves reminding unique individuals, original experience, which is significant numerous in cases with never equal. That's a lot of unequal views. Every concept of religious are fitting one is equal. No leaf ever holding the concept leaves form an arbitrary abstraction of the individual differences. Not forgetting the distinction. Because I idea that there might be something sides to be called these in the original form with all these been copied, but I have two no copy to be correcting the original form called Chance. Why do you actually want to say to be as are use something because it's not female about the essence like one quality and honest realism and only English language does not actually do quick anything and equal quality action with imagery mobile army better than and more than some accumulation of point that should have been advanced transposed with us to grow the program which belongs to military people treatment on evolution which one of this forgotten that's what they are therefore to their one of that power what small thing now only so no longer so the fact that there's some man that's been a the guy working at my people actually like the treat the balloon and I hear the to the king out still point which we treat them really use for very style confirmation instead of all being perceived in the air believing his things before maybe these members does linguistic signs represent particular abstracted meanings. We absolutely never capture the essence of things because all these designations are arbitrary. It doesn't mean the word like morality or empty significance, right? They simply represent a set of arbitrary abstractions to form the conceptual metaphors that we understand the world. Truth is very real. Things just can't be true in themselves. You can't get grasping the essence of more when we understand the essence is something fundamentally different and it's incomplete and abstracted. Truth is the diagram that we can map the world around us and work the pieces of that picture. And truth functionality is a prerequisite of abilities and the does and the wind to be approved as true any normative claims can be proven or disproven. And B, lack of truth functionality, those abilities to put true values and non-truth functional statements for arbitrary general invention, hence in a descriptive analysis of the word ought to reveal meaningful truth functional ethical imperative and a claim of morality that ought to be evaluation of something is preferable to another. Individual by certain actions correct morality to guide us with one option, forcibly eliminate alternative options, morally impermissible nature too. When you have a real virtue, not giving a mini music for some virtue, it's victim being crazy or virtue precise on that count. One honest feels hard to use word stuff, and graphics, one thing society whole lots of invest in real good, small sacrifice, that's a sacrifice, need to raise virtue, praise something, private harm, the crazy, the private community of his nobles, selfish, take the fun, five such money is how it is all people try to condition it to like very extractive edge, to operate in the what's even happening to gain actual dominance, so low, just for the general good systems of morality, virtue like morality, usually persons about sensitivity, moral aspect, denying religion, morality, directly denial of the value of the truth, which rules, set morality, control from by denying the value, certain activity, three. So, the result of something that's pretty good, the result of nature to find the true activity, the top of the imaginary events, they writing that's the node, that's a different something, the node, the creativity, the version, the positive, direct with you, or instant action concept is the essence of the result of our it is the value that always received that help selection of world feeds to solve speaking in extra, and actual attack, I contend the compulsory national service denies the value of individuals. I defend the whole resolution, I'll defend the implementation, but consequences are relevant in my framework. If asking process and will test any particular plan, text, or mechanism, one, force military service denies the value of individuals to defense individuals from pursuing alternative forms of action like desire to compulsory law mandate individual sacrifice freedom to save the nebulous greater good to attack this constitute the denial of individuals' more capacity. Those 74. Individually, sometimes choose to undergo some pain or sacrifice for overall greater good, but there's no social entity with the good that undergo some sacrifice. There's only different individual people to individual lives. What happens is that say let's say from the overall consider becomes that he's a person based on sufficient which I can take account of the fact that he is a separate person, he is only he has he's about to attack known to the force on his soul say the claims of legion must be neutral consistent. 3 military service substitutes some individual ethical judgments for others. For example, a soldier may be that killing is wrong might be ordered to do so regardless. Force military service thus denies the moral authority of agency to conscript individuals under. 1. Our language constrains our ability to think and communicate. We can only communicate when our signifiers correspond to physical facts in the world. Ethical propositions are incoherent because they do not conform to this representational constraint and are nonsensical. Valetsky 08 summarizes Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein would draw a limit to thinking, a limit can only be drawn in language and realizing the other side limits will be nonsense. The condition of propositions having some interest in the possibility of reference into a picture, and even heavy reference meaning, ultimately facts, sets of picture can be represented by meaningful propositions. These are only propositions of natural science that the realm of the sense of balancing over states, which can kind of identify the nonsensical, unintending proposition and the label of unintending primary propositions. Socrates is identical one, so what is the number and there are objects only analysis here and of course to the picture theory things with the non-totality propositions ethic are also suited to prefer genealogical accounts that traditional value systems fail, since they are A, fail to critique the nature of value itself, or B, falsely assume causality, morality, or objective concepts. Deleuze 83 summarizes Nietzsche. Kant is not carried out to critique these other problems in terms of values theory, values give rise to new forms of nature, be must be within the fallacy of values, the critique growth, philosophy, the hammer, while should be supposed values in the case which not praise from the values, which presuppose values, perspective of praise, looking to values, derive this nature that people sort of to remove values and criticism, getting to producing inventory of species value, criticizing the need of establishing equals off the later Thomas Schopenhauer, but also consider criticize the respect values by recognizing different physical factors, but objective acts, utilitarian need to tackle the high idea foundation which leaves values indifferent to their own origin, and they most simple causal derivation of smooth beginning, which is indifferent origin for values, need to create the concept of genealogy, philosophers of genealogy, whether a content tribunal to a utilitarian mechanic. 3, a consciousness and reality are illusions, we subconsciously emit coherent narrative that system together numerous discrete experiences, Chopra 11. In interruption imagines going to the void total visual teaching that limited to the ego creates confusion once you feel like should be actually given the feel of it, opinion without giving you that specific things that truly could possibly discount you hurt you or second to an illusion confident keep it distinct all confident you think we run to the ID you referring to your past time to the simply that law in records are relative to that that's time inside the ego something that very being regarding as soon as the active rates and on entire meaning to yourself the total cycle of death and life and the life and the death you have serenity mystics with powerful tools and heroes. I read it.
Okay. Ready? Yeah. So how does the AF affirm? If your argument, you argue that compulsory national service denies the value of individuals because it ascribes to slave morality. So how does this affirm why we should enact a policy of national service?
The argument is that the only sensible interpretation of the resolution is like interpreting it as consistent or inconsistent with slave morality, and because the compulsory national service is a form of slave morality, I agree that it is consistent with the resolution.
Okay, so the AF operates under a truth testing paradigm?
I don't need to win truth testing.
Okay, so how is that the case if your argument is just that you should affirm because the statement is like logically consistent? Like, how are you proving that it is desirable to in a world in which we have compulsory service?
Well, first of all, I don't know what you mean by desirable. I don't think that makes any sense given the context of the.
Does the AF make an argument about why it is more desirable to have a world with compulsory service as opposed to without?
It's not an argument about desirability, rather just
not like desirability in a consequentialist sense.
Sure.
Just like, should we have a world in which there is compulsory national service?
Sure, I would say that it is more consistent with slave morality to exist in a world with compulsory national service.
Okay, why is consistency with slave morality good? The entirety of Nietzsche's argument is that we should overcome slave morality and not adhere to it.
No, like that statement makes a number of false assumptions, for example, which should and good presume that normative obligations are possible, which I think is a claim that you have not justified.
Nietzsche's argument is slave morality is bad. How is saying that national service is consistent with slave morality a reason to affirm?
I don't think that good and bad mean the same things that I think they mean, or Nietzsche thinks they mean.
What do you think good and bad mean?
I don't think they mean anything.
Okay, then why no that?
It just is like a syllogism, right? Like it's an argument about like.
Okay, it seems to definitely. Okay, so will you concede that the judges should understand the round in terms of comparative worlds paradigm?
No.
Okay, so does the app operate under a truth testing paradigm?
I have not justified either of these.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't change the function of the offense or the framework.
Disagreed. Okay. So is death bad?
I would argue that question cannot be answered in a normative sense, at least.
What does that mean? What is a normative sense?
I mean, normativity is the idea that an ethical, like when you say, the sky should be blue. You can think of that in a descriptive sense. That is you ask me what you mean by normative stuff.
Yeah. So like, why can't we normally determine that preventing things like extinction is something that we should do?
I would say that's the entirety of the AC framework. I can start like explaining each individual reason why normativity is incoherent.
That's fine. What is a genealogical account of ethics?
A genealogical account is a critique of values like ethics, whatever it is you're talking about, and sort of understanding like how that arose.
So why is a genealogical account of ethics important?
The argument is that non-genealogical approaches are insufficient for like two reasons that Deleuze is enumerating. I can explain this if you want.
That's fine. $2.22 left. The order is going to be 2 then case.
Sorry, did you say 2 then case or T then case?
2 then case.
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab a Coke real quick.
Okay.
This is my spam. Hold on.
Did you not get it?
Not yet, no.
It says it's been sent. I have that. You got it?
Okay. Can I just check my? I know. Can I just check my email?
Yeah, sure. Oh wait, also I'll take like a second more prep. I want you to defend a policy which conscripts all 18-year-olds into the armed forces.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 240.
I'm trying to reload this.
How much prep was that?
It took 5 seconds.
Sorry, I don't have the docket. This is not
The docket?
the doc yet.
Oh.
Can you try airdropping to me? Sorry, this is like,
Sure.
you should just say Attica on the. My email's been kind of.
Here, why don't I just download it and Facebook message it to you instead?
Okay,
Facebook's
here.
blocked.
Messenger is not.
Oh, it was blocked from me earlier.
Messenger.com.
Oh, is that a
Oh,
thing?
I'm like airdropping it to you.
Can you? I think it's just asking you.
Yeah.
AirDrop. I've like never used AirDrop before. I thought it was like some Apple feature no one used.
Cool, I'm good to go.
Okay. Is anyone not ready?
One sec.
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
All right. Go
Okay.
for it.
U.S. North Korea tensions are at a tipping point. Military provocation caused North Korea to proactively strike O'Donoghue 10-4. The regime continues to met the U.S. on the brink of extinction. Experts have said that the real possibility of tensions bursting easily reckless behavior will hurt the retaliatory the TPRK and thus is expecting nuclear disaster. Bursting this calculation as high troop extensions is threatening and causes war westward at 926. The war between North Korea and the U.S. are pushing the region to the brink of conflict. Military source of power resulted in the alpha provocation. The state has moved towards the war. The U.S. has the route to attempted to prevent escalation. The U.S. has inflicted major war risks and capability. The U.S. has recently prevented technology to so precipitable war and the draft for achievements all forensic. It's a symbol of state power and military strength. Carter 97. Those that have the daughter, but if you're ready, please military strength, the second princess overrides someone's significant cost is a symbol of supremacy. The intent is unstable in North Korea. Strike causes massive loss of life and extinction. Right 93. North Korea initiating military action because it appears the U.S. is close to attack signals such as Washington deploying more military personnel. So it is a danger for the U.S. in this mainland. It's unbelievable. Congress of the Army and secret reality exists given its rapid release of new weapons and military system. The conflict city all intelligence and North Korea has the numbers in the military now has a nuclear bombs to North Korea war could be deadly, producing initial million casualties of the South will be devastation will be disastrous to the first Korean War. The U.S. has lost more than 30% of South Korea, over 1 million North Korea, over 1 million there will be around this loss of life in North Korea. Associated with this, also the DMZ in North Korea, so I can call back off the government or something to bring back conflict development. It's actually one of those my fight on it. Costly girl attacks on the big son of the Chinese and North Korea supposed to part of the JD, so the Korea so far between find out which influence even started to explain more flowing. Finally, work with China in the world will have the unraveling of the world order in China on the other side of the enemy status. Next up. The standard is maximizing expected well-being. First, phenomenal expect improve that pleasures and interest in the Zimbabwe. Oh wait, phenomenal strength will lie like 2% to reach 2 the form of this about their seats will have describing the pleasure things about phenomenal strength will lie because you develop moral and honor or ability to represent the interest of experiences of others who us a utilitarianism in Zimbabwe. Oh wait, one consider collective what rejecting that their experiences just as well as the yellows, right as one can experience pleasure progress as good as what I consider to be supposed things about anything religious more rights by digital physical and smartphone hassle and feeling phenomenal strength produce and done so others and good. And others about second policies and then police or budget offices that they offer for sales and stats and action offices. Useful parents and consideration of just presentation of the growth of the third direct emission distinction for states or crystal approval for action still has moral responsibility, sensitive and real. Unlike the influence of until its future towards being raised, the policy of parties when offers for actions, non-actions, actions, governors, and others action becomes a sort of never form of action, but not for discourage it for the bullshit or skip that argument. Fifth, psychological evidence proves that we don't identify their future self continuous personal identity doesn't exist. Over 14. Humans are not consistent identity, but change self, and we see our future self as future changes right from our study breakers people imagine the future in present areas of brain work, more arguable subjects other than self-identity and the future neutral activity than the original target self-identity with some women can start backing the lessons we think in terms of future self, someone else's decision making, reflect how we treat other people. 6. Moral uncertainty means preventing extinction should be our highest priority. Option 12. Moral certainty suggests that a practice action we can use aware of judgments, greater value, preserving our ability to recognize to the future more than care to be future and make the best way to increase future value and use systemic modesty, assign frequency, offense, something greater than which the framework and factors want any other long moved when to see offense research the ground into an art is a logical there was a 51% chance of one frame being true. You would assume that the other frames didn't matter at all. Now on the case debate first, you should as an overview use compared world paradigms in which the resolution is viewed as a statement of desirability, which either side has to prove that a world with or without the resolution would be preferable. Net benefits of the first is reciprocal burden. Strict testing imposes an unfair burden on the advocates proving that the Jews more difficult than proving false. I need to win 100% of my argument. They only are you need to win 100% of your argument. The other people need to win when defense gets one profit. And second is use a rational decision theory when evaluating arguments full-time probability and the value of an outcome of Law 16. The judge takes the problems and outcome without having not at all having offered a judge which I'm more concerned with. He takes that point of like no since I have dying as a person having a drink terminal defense when you conclude that the arguments false degrees are on our ability or debate arguments are based on pure qualification, not extrapolations, and so arguments are based on such you can judge for certain and it's unclear judges can account because is everything from the is a flaw, which also proves that episodic modesty. The third argument is truth testing. Move 6 that topic education gets a lesser bench for recycled generic arguments which deny the truth of everything. That always other forms of education gets really too much to the topic, and I can have discussions about issues that I can have other issues about from it. Education is good because it's the reason for why it's the reason for why it's so fun debating. Fair because it's axiomatic and necessary to determine the better cheater or the better debater on your arguments. You make two arguments for truth functionality. However, the issue with both of them is they just assume that they're just talking about truth as like a truth in a binary in terms of argument being true or false. Yes, obviously, the judges need to vote on true arguments, but you assume an analytical analytical understanding of truth. So, an analytical understanding of truth. This is not. Neither of these are justifications for why the judge should interpret the resolution as a statement of truth, where in which one debater tries to prove that is a logic, which the statement is logically consistent, and also the issue, and also the entirety of the app is just a bastardization of what Nietzsche says. Nietzsche opposed slavery morality and thought it was a social contract. Nietzsche would negate on this topic. National service is an example of statism which he thought was culturally destructive. Clean 10. Nietzsche saw the state as a vehicle for mass power and as a squanderer of an exceptional talent. His success with nationalism led him to believe that his life in a self-imposed exile. There to still people does not understand the state. Nietzsche believed the state was an artifice as invented to serve a political class based on the myth of the shared culture, the history of the state is a history of the egoism of the masses. Nietzsche was concerned with the effect of statism had on culture. All the great ages of a culture are anti-political, which proves that which has a couple implications. The first is that it proves that any conclusions that the app comes to are incorrect and bastardized, but this also has theoretical implications. It proves that all of the evidence that the app is cut completely out of context. Nietzsche does conclude that you can make Nietzsche does conclude that we should avoid that slave morality is bad, and it says that slave morality valorizes things like piety and suffering as a way to overcome the truth that was and slave morality was created in order for the Christianity to become popular for the things like, and for those groups who have power in the first place, which is a justification for why everything that the app cuts is completely out of context, and also a reason for why you should negate. It's Nietzsche thinks that slave morality is bad, something we should avoid, which means that all of your offense is literally justifications for why we shouldn't do the topic. Now, on your underview, the first is that you say that ethical propositions fail. However, you can resolve this dilemma because it does correspond to physical facts, and above and proves that because of the empirical experiences that I have, I know the phenomenological capabilities that exist within me, and how we determine that those experiences that I'm having are in fact pleasurable or painful, and we should therefore, because I know pleasure is good for me, I also know pleasure is good for you, which means that I should be able to maximize your ability to pursue pleasure. You say we must have the genealogical accounts of ethics. However, you folks also an example of this. The first piece of Nueva evidence indicates that because of things like evolutionary programming, we've been programmed to having aversion to pain, which in terms of genealogy is the number one place that we can go back to, which is the evolution of human psychology in itself. You say that consciousness is an illusion. However, even if it's all is a simulation and consciousness is an illusion, we can still have feel pain and pleasure in this illusion, which you told prove is something we should maximize or minimize.
Okay. What did you not read? I thought there's one thing you didn't read. Everything that.
Oh, I didn't read the number 4 point, or like the fourth argument.
The
for
rules
the
argument?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And everything else?
Yeah.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sinababa uses this word pleasure. How would you represent this concept using a emoji?
I just don't know what.
If I asked you to draw an abstract painting representing phenomenological introspection, what shapes and colors would you use?
Well, phenomenal introspection is a process of looking inside oneself and determining the responses that I have to different experiences. I don't know how to illustrate that.
Let's talk about you make these arguments about phenomenological introspection. How can you prove that my understanding of pleasure is the same as your understanding or Jonas' understanding?
Yeah, so that's the first piece of Sinababu evidence, and explains that creatures who could reliably form beliefs about states would survive and reproduce. So via things like evolution, everyone who, or creatures in which did not correspond with pleasure as being good and pain as being bad, did not continue. Like those genetics were not included in the gene pool anymore.
That's fine. You make a bunch of arguments for why you should use comparative worlds. Why does that mean that the ACA doesn't get access to its offense?
Sure. So I think CrossX very much confirms this. The app does not make an argument for why a world with compulsory service is good, and that doesn't necessarily concede to like a consequentialism understanding of good. Like it's just like there's no reason for why we should.
I understand. You use this word good again. Where do you justify that normative ethical obligations are possible?
So there are two things. The first is I think that util definitely does this. The second is that like when I say like to prove the desirability of the resolution, that doesn't assume like a consequentialist or like a Kantian understanding of desirability. It's just like you have to prove why we should affirm, and you haven't done that because your offense relies on like the fact that the resolution is a true statement, not necessarily a statement of that we should do.
That's fine. You read this argument about you read some arguments on debatability standards. What is the like implication of these arguments? Is this a justification for comparative worlds?
It's just, or like if you were to extend these arguments as reasons for why truth functionality means that we have to view the resolution as a statement of truth that either debater proves true or false.
So the argument is a no link between debatability good and truth testing, but it's not an argument why debatability is not important, right?
It's a reason for why we can have why debatability is not mutually exclusive with. Or truth functionality is not mutually exclusive with comparative.
Sure, but you conceded the weighing about why debatability matters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
All of your like reasons to prefer comparative worlds theoretical,
as opposed to
substantive reasons to prefer comparative worlds.
I don't really know what those. I don't know what
theory is like like theoretical justifications mean, right?
But like I don't know like what it would mean for an argument to be substantive versus theoretical. There are arguments that would indicate that the judge should interpret and view the
round. The theoretical argument says this is fair or educational. A substantive investigation is anything that's not that. Do you read any substantive investigations?
I guess not. I don't really know though. That distinction seems sort of silly. They're just arguments that I make that say that the judges should view the round in a certain way.
All right, I'll take credit. Top right. I have 145 remaining. The order is going to be overview, case, framework, contention, util. Util.
Wait. Like your case?
Yeah. Overview, AC framework, AC contention, NC framework. It's gonna be, yeah, and then there are gonna be references at the end of you in the AC framework section. Everybody good? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have 5%. That's bad. I'll fix that in a second.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get through the speech with 5%.
Should have just not told you about my turn.
Yeah, that would
I'm just gonna black out and just be like, all right, let's do it.
Off the dome, let's go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Overview. This round breaks down real simple. The AC is a syllogism. The argument is that the only sensible way to interpret the resolution is as a descriptive proposition. She is conceding warrants in the initial one evidence as to why non-descriptive interpretations of the resolution are nonsensical. She's also considering conceding weighing of debatability matters more than any other impact. And insofar as I win that you should use a descriptive analysis, the only framework that does that is a consistency with slave morality. Her util framework is a normative framework, which means that it does not subscribe to the story. And if I only, and then the contention is conceded, which that natural service is consistent with slave morality because of oppressed individuals. So I just want to be line debate. The initial one argument is conceded. The argument here is the normative ethical truth and not truth functional because we cannot grasp that truth that war would get to inform their own abstract conceptual maps of the world. It seems that normative states are anthropomorphic, can be proven false. Two implications: A, lack of truth functionality kills debatability to the judgment of through own prove as true or false. Their model based on the read to be true or false. And B, to endorse the norm to be a distortion of the real to fit your own abstract maps and vocabulary, which requires judgment and influence analyze the resolution descriptively. This is a conceded take on it is a conceded way, even if her friend is a good thing, even if she wins it, that's possible that means anything. That still means that her friend becomes debatable to begin with. Then she concedes the contention, extend the third argument about how national service substitute one individual multiple judgment for another. For example, a soldier might be a Kantian, but their general might be utilitarian. That forces them to adopt their mode of thinking that it can be first upon by denies individual value because it forces it eliminates other options as impermissible to denial of individual freedom. Going to the underview, she can see the Boletsky argument, or at least she can see the word, which that the only things that make sense are things are words we can actually pictures in the real world. My framework meets this because it suggests that we should look at things like we should look at things like slave morality, people being oppressed, and that is an example that is consistent with morality. These are descriptive propositions. For example, we can see someone working in the real world, whereas in the world of the NC framework, she talks a lot about util, but all your arguments about pleasure cannot be verified in any way because we have different mental pictures of what the word pleasure means. She makes this argument how it means because that's physical facts, but no, it's about the derivation of your framework, which is fundamentally nonsensical. Since phenomenology, introspection, etc., don't mean anything. This is your framework is not physical, can't be resolved. You make a bunch of next to truth test arguments. One, she concedes in CX that all of her justification for comparative worlds are theoretical, reject theoretical arguments that are grounded in appraisal of truth or falsity, and arguments that allow you to drop before they said it under moral nature. For example, you embracing acceptability before they said about independent truth to the field of fairness or education of the don't coherent. We could inherent constant moral terms in the insufficient work to embrace the claim that the theory can't logically verify the validity of fairness and ideal fairness in practice. Some verifiable arguments can be rejected because they threat the possibility of logically creating a determination of truth that are from signing the job required to test each one. The second implication of this argument is the second implication of the argument is that is that even if you do buy her fairness and education claims, even if you do buy any of these arguments, even if you think they are true, that means there was always a disconnect between how you think of them and how they're implemented in practice. That's just an example of the leads you are putting in number of unequal circumstances, which means that you're never going to have access to. You should make a much more argument quite theoretical arguments come before substantive ones, but this is not true because substantive ones, because theoretical arguments are niche uncertainties that indicate your epistemology. We have to determine what is knowable first before we can begin to understand that too. The Boletsky argument takes out for the same reason because we have to determine what same sort of she wins comparative worlds. She still does not win the util, and she still does not win the debate because it means that a world with the apps is more consistent with slave morality than a world without it. Next on the util side. 1. She makes only some significant relevance, no impact, not having the active mission distinction. Then all your arguments about phenomenology have to justify why Util's true second already indicted with the less here. There's no true functional independent pleasures and there's no ability to third, no ability to generalize other people to have no understanding of these arguments. She said that she keeps using words like good and should in her critiques, but assume that there's conflict norm term. She said that CPI does not exist, that it can't report arguments that there is no such thing as agency, which means there's no value in protecting humans to begin with. There's no argument that I mentioned the Dosch amendment that again assumes normative moral content. Okay. Yeah. You wait 2 minutes?
2:40.
2:40, okay.
The order is going to be the disad, util, then the app. Okay, is everyone ready? All right. Inflammatory rhetoric in North Korea, nuclear divisions of which relations with typical fear of regime causes North Korea launch period of responsibility for military provocation, risk of its calculation is high, both can and drop are rational and mutual. The office of final short is an untakeable to stay on simple days of military expansion to surrounding North Korea. Third causes massive technical difference in nuclear war between South Korea and North Korea, the US and Japan, war and nuclear war causes extinction. The case outweighs our the disad outweighs the case. You can see in our Bosch argument, which is a moral uncertainty, preventing moral uncertainty should be our moral uncertainty means that preventing extinction should be our highest priority, which outweighs any of the offensive slave morality that he goes for. Now, you tell. Regal and Bobby argument, which has several implications. The implications is that it disproves the the thesis of the alpha that we can't evaluate the normativity claim to cinema, we prove that because the normal expression is intrinsic, because the phenomenal expression proves that pleasure is intrinsically good, we have a normative obligation to definitely promote pleasure. For the other words, awaiting the fact that normative statements are possible also means that you should evaluate the data under a compared worlds paradigm, because their only response to compared worlds is that the truth is that statements don't have normative value, therefore they only need to evaluate your truth claim. But now we move into our to the model argument. Via evolutionary programming, reason has been shaped by our virtues and parameters that pleasure is the starting point of all ethics. So your only response to this is that I have to justify why pleasure is necessarily reliable. However, the first piece of evidence and context as well proves that human affinity for pleasure is in fact reliable because of evolution. Those who did not believe that pleasure was a good thing and pursued pain instead were killed off because their genes were no longer in the gene pool, which means that every individual therefore pursues pleasure. Slight subjectivities in pleasure does not disapprove the universality of pleasure's goodness. So even if you like the chocolate ice cream and I like vanilla better, that does not disprove the symbolic argument around, because it's still an instance in which pleasure is both something that we agree upon and something that we pursue, which then justifies the normativity claim. Because because the same phenomenological faculties that exist in myself, which allow me to determine that pleasure is good in the same way that I know that increasing brightness is, or increasing yellow will result in increasing brightness, it means that those same phenomenological, I have no reason to believe that those same phenomenological faculties don't also exist in you. And because this is true, it establishes the normative obligation that I must promote your ability to pursue pleasure because it's a reciprocal, which proves that we have a normative obligation to promote pleasure, which is not just a justification for why the dissent definitely always the case, but it disproves your disruptivity arguments. You say so also the concession of Dosch is bad because it proves that preventing moral uncertainty is something that we have a normative obligation to do in order to increase future value. We first need to have a future to begin with, which is again another instance in which util establishes a normative obligation to the other. The biggest concession is your concession of epistemic modesty. You have conceded that we should the framework should only matter to the degree in which we should assign credence to the degree to which the framework back to which is one, which means that even if you win your truth testing arguments, it doesn't matter because the fact that you conceded the entirety of the dissent means that I have 100% truth to claim back to my framework. Truth testing and compared worlds are in themselves frameworks, which means that you conceded that we shouldn't just evaluate one as a preclusive impact filter, but rather just a weighing argument for each one of our prospective offenses. And insofar as you conceded the entirety of the offenses, a really easy place to negate. Now, the app. We will win that you should evaluate the debate under and compare to world's paradigm. Your only response to this is that claims don't have normative value, so it doesn't make sense to view the resolution under as a statement of as a should statement. However, again, this relies on the fact that you are winning that claims do not have normative value, which util clearly disproves. The second argument is you conceded our offense that proves that you are complete bastardization of what you just says. This means you should be highly skeptical that this argument that you are characterizing is correct because you characterize it as if Nietzsche believes that we should pursue a slave morality, which is complete bastardization. Nietzsche says that we should not default. We should not follow what the state says because that would be bad. And that slave morality is something that we should avoid and attempt to overcome. And insofar as you've taken every single other part out of context, it means you should also assign I think you should be extremely acceptable this cross application of Nietzsche's argument to answer the normative claims. You say that you should reject theoretical grounds because they need to be truth verifiable. However, again, this is still relying on the fact that you are winning that normative claims don't have truth value. So you can accept the argument about topic education about how you should reject truth testing because you should reject truth testing because it kills topic education because it allows debaters to recycle arguments. As opposed to engaging in conflict in which we only have 2 months to debate. You can see that outweighs other forms of education. You say that substantive arguments come first. However, this distinction is silly. These are both just arguments that would make them interact with each other as opposed to just assigning a monolithic claim to all of them. You should just evaluate on a case-by-case basis. If your argument responds to mine, but topic education is also good, this answers your debatability warrants. You say that truth functionality means that it is a prerequisite to debatability or argument. Rather, it's just that yes, arguments have to be true. Judges have to vote on true arguments. That's not a justification for viewing the resolution as a statement of truth. Now, on the underview, you try to present your argument as a reason for why pleasure can be verified because people describe different pictures. However, this doesn't matter because we've already answered. This is going to be slight subjectivities in different people's understandings of pleasure. Does not negate the universality of pleasure's goodness. And even so, evolution has programmed us to view very similar pictures. We all agree that extinction would be bad, and because of that fact, we should pursue the people's ability to pursue pleasure by preventing extinction, which means that util resolves this dilemma. We do a genealogical account. That's our evolution argument. So basically, epistemic modesty means that you negate, because we're winning a far larger trait that linked to our offense back to our framework, but even so, we're winning compared to roles, which means you don't have any offense because you're not proving that it's desirable to have a role with compulsory service.
I had 145 or 150. Yeah. Take it.
Oh, that was only one string.
All right. The order is going to be an overview, which should probably float on its own because there are going to be like a lot of arguments there, or it's going to be kind of long. Then it's going to be AC contention, AC framework, the like underview and client stuff, and then util. Is anybody not ready? Okay. Over your framing issues that you should have like epistemic modesty, but this is not unique because the AC contention was also conceded. So there's no reason to prefer the NC framing. She goes for these comparative world arguments. These do not, or another reason why you should negate. I prove that a world of the affirmative is more consistent with slave morality, and she argues that a world of the negative is more consistent with util. She still has the witty risk of the framework. So the question is just should have framework debate, but whose framework is better? Next, she concedes Boletsky and Nietzsche argues that normativity is nonsensical, which are taken up to her framework. I don't need to win that Nietzsche is a good thing. I just need to win that it is the only valuable framework. There's conceded way and coming out of the one you see is about like evaluability is the only thing that matters. Let's go to that now. Extend Nietzsche one that normative frameworks are not true functional. This and next utility. Her response to this is that she just re-derives the utilitarian process to consider Babu. This is how you taught the argument that these obligations are nonsensical. Even if you are able to generate these normative obligations, that means that they are always going to be in incongruence with how you think about them and how they're applied in practice. Because there's a distinction because you require you to equate equal number of different different things like leaves, which means that even if she put all her util true claims, there's no way to apply it, which means it's invaluable. She's conceded way of like debatability comes first because the applicants will actually reiterate truth, true or false judgment. At least even if truth is analytical, or is it not? It's not binary. Her statements can't be valid because they're so subjective. She reads this client argument. I have bastardized Nietzsche one. I know I didn't answer this, but one. This literally has no impact. There's no contextualization of why client matters. Why it matters that I bastardized it. There are literally no warrants in the card. You see, it's not what Nietzsche thinks, but there's no warrant for why this matters or what's indexing truth of the AC. Third, if non-responsive doesn't prove that my framework is false. Also, even if I bastardize in Nietzsche, you shouldn't give this argument 100% credence. And so winning my her framework is terminally invaluable. Next, it's in the Boletsky argument. She just says that we all do have the same phenomenological beliefs, but this is not. This is only one layer of the argument. She concedes that The phenomenological introspection is a question of what the words phenomenology means. The word in the Valencia card says it literally statements like what is a number and Socrates is identical and ethics exist are nonsensical because ethics and phenomenological introspection and pleasure do not conform to physical realities in the world, which means that literally the entire statement itself is incoherent to conceited way why logic comes first. Next on the ACA contention. She conceded, at least once a point that she's conceded that the app is consistent with slave morality because it denies the value of an individual because it forcibly eliminates other options and oppresses them by forcing them to do shit for other people. This is conceded as 100% effective way, which even if she wins at, I'm perceiving episode of modesty, but that's not a unique reason to prefer Euclid. She concedes her dissent, and she also, I concede the dissent, she concedes the framework to no office. Next in the Euclid. I've already answered literally everything here on the case, but she's been also the concession of the OPAR evidence that says she says CPI doesn't miss the implication that there's no agency between individuals, there's no value worth presenting in humans, which means who gives a fuck about normativity, it doesn't matter. Alright.
Yeah.
If you want the analytics I read, you can, but like I don't think it should be.
I don't.
Okay.